Yeah, 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 yeah. This the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. In the field with my dogs, like the Sixers, we gon' ball. Wake up early in the morning, tune in anytime at all. All time, all season, don't believe in off seasons. Watch the Phillies, watch the Flyers, and the Eagles on the weekends, yeah. This is not your ordinary radio show. Ain't just talking sports, we be talking about the culture. All across the globe, anything you wanna cover. This is for the fans, no room for the front runners. This the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, 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 yeah. You know the vibes.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Brad Emery Show. Marques, Brad, Justin Emery.
Let's go!
On a Tuesday morning where all is well in Philadelphia.
I somehow pried Marques Bradham out of bed at 9 a.m. for our show today.
Yeah, I've waited.
Was it really me, though? Or was it the fight in Phil's?
Oh, it was definitely the fight in Phil's. Got me out.
I mean, I was just the messenger.
I've been ready to talk about this for 2 days now.
No, we're not recording this at 1 o'clock like we usually do because we have a 107 Phillies game today.
Yes. We're in the playoffs, in case you didn't know.
I got the Roy Halladay jersey on, Marques. I got the Roy Halladay jersey on.
We're deep in the playoffs. So yeah, I said on Friday, expectations changed a little bit when I found out for me it was going to be the Cardinals because number one, for the fact that I never got over 2011. Number two, I really believed that this was a series they could win. I thought everything was working out in their favor, and just by the pitching alone, Quintana pitched a great game. Michaelis wasn't bad either. It's just that I believed that our pitching was stronger than theirs, which it was. Zach Wheeler came out, looked incredible, 96 pitches. I understand why people wanted to leave him in a little longer, and I was actually in that school too. I don't blame Alvarado for the runs being given up. Like, he's pitched so well, and things happen. They hadn't scored. They were going to have to score to win the game anyway. So, did I see the ninth inning unfolding the way it did? No, I didn't. But one thing I will also say is that as excited as I was for last weekend, I had completely forgotten about the postseason anxiety that comes with baseball. Like, I like that feeling, and this is why I love baseball so much and love playoff baseball, is the feeling you get in your gut you don't feel anywhere else. Someone had an analogy I thought was spot on. It was like watching postseason baseball is like watching a loved one defuse a bomb. That's what it really that's what it feels like. It's like that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like just you're waiting for something really bad to happen until something good happens. Like that's pretty much the feeling you get, and you don't get that intensity in any other sport. So you get to the ninth inning, and just some excellent at bats off a really, really good closer. I know he imploded, but that guy's really good. Now a lot of people are gonna say blame his hand. I think he just pooped his pants on national television. I don't blame the finger at all. I think that's one of those things where things just went really south and he couldn't figure it out and went off the rails. But
quick, can we just stay on that for 1 minute?
Yeah.
Were you watching it or were you listening to it on the radio?
Watching.
Did you hear when all the mound visits happened, Larry Anderson melting down? Have you heard that audio yet?
No.
So, first off, I need MLB to look into that. That was, he already used his mound visits.
Mm-hmm.
Then he brings the trainer out to kind of, skirt the rule to have another mound visit. And then they have him throwing warm-up pitches like, oh, let me see if you're hurt or not. So Larry Anderson has a complete and total meltdown on the broadcast.
So I didn't hear it, but this is where I think he's coming from. First of all, this is your closer. So you don't have anyone ready to throw, ready to warm up.
That's not my problem.
Right, but I'm saying this is where Larry Anderson's coming from. This is your closer. You have no one to warm up, so you kind of choreograph an injury situation because at that point, the guy who's coming in after the closer, he can warm up as long as he needs. So you're not rushed. That's what I believe they were trying to do because Selsky, he imploded on the he absolutely imploded out there. Couldn't find the strike zone at all. You brought him in. I think Alex Rodriguez said it during the broadcast. He was basically like, you're asking this guy to do something that's traditionally not what he does. It's closers, but you're asking him to 5-out save. Like, not everyone's Mariano Rivera. Not everyone's comfortable doing things like that. And most of these guys are creatures of habit. So bringing him, and you had, I forget who was in before him. The guy who was in before him, he was rolling. And, you talk about Quintana, first of all. Now, if you want to talk about Wheeler being taken out too early, Quintana definitely was taken out too early. He threw 76 pitches. He was absolutely rolling, no issues at all, and you take him out. So now you tax your bullpen. Now you're asking your closer to come in and get a 5-out save. But back to the Philly side of things, just some really quality at bats, some really good postseason style at bats. Didn't bail him out. Bryce Harper, who was struggling going into that game, struggled during that game, had a really awesome at bat. JT first with the single. The little bloopy. Nothing really was hit hard in that inning. Little bloopy by JT. Then you get Harper up there. Harper gets down 1-2, and you're like, uh-oh. Works the count, gets it back full, and finally gets a walk. Castellanos had a good bat also, even though he's not hitting the ball well. Had a nice at bat. Then Bohm gets up, and the thing I was worried about, because Bohm is a first pitch guy. He is love him or hate him for it. Sometimes works out in favor, sometimes often doesn't. He is swinging that first pitch more often than not. And I'm sitting there like screaming to him, please just look what happened before you. 2 walks. This guy can't find the strike zone. Don't bail him out. Bohm gets up. He eventually gets hit. Gets on base. Now the base is loaded for Gene. And that's just the poeticness about baseball is that Gene Segura gets up. 1,300 games or something about being in the postseason. And the biggest at bat of his career, and he comes through. I mean, he had a really. I was getting worried about him too. He had a really ugly string to make it 1-2. No, I'm sorry. I think it was 2-1. But it was a really terrible swing. It's like, oh, Gene, come on, just pokes it. Just a little pokey piece, opposite direction, squirts through. I thought it was very smart to bring in Edmundo Sosa to pinch run for Bohm. So you steal that run after you get the 2 initial runs to go ahead. You steal that run also, and then Arenado makes an error, things kind of just fall off the rails. The Phillies end up stealing game 1, and that was one of those games where you knew you took their heart. That was just one of those just absolutely deflating games. The Phillies the entire series held Arenado and Goldschmidt in check. 1 for 15 combined, even though Arenado had some hard hit balls. Still 1 for 15. Goldschmidt was invisible the entire series. Arenado, like I said, he could have had a home run on Friday. I thought that ball was out. Just, day game, a little windy, kept in the park. He had a couple other hard hit balls, but Goldschmidt really didn't do anything. And that's the thing with their lineup is you take those 2 pieces away. Pujols had a nice second half, but you really got nothing after that. Like they really have nothing. It's not going to be like that today in this series. We'll get into that a little bit in a little bit, but they really have nothing after those 2 guys. Absolutely nothing. Their lineup actually is pedestrian after you get through Goldschmidt and Arenado. So that obviously worked in Philly's flavor. But Wheeler was incredible. Nola was incredible. Both of them. I mean, if this is the Wheeler and Nola we're getting, look out. I mean, really, they are both pitching like aces. And then you have Harper, who you're hoping getting out of that slump, hit a bomb Saturday night. There's absolute no doubt about her. I mean, I'm just so excited because this is what we've been waiting for. And this just again how poetic baseball is. They end our dynasty. They end our playoff streak. And then we come back 11 years later and retire Yadier Molina and Albert Pujols. and maybe Adam Wainwright. We'll see what he says. But it's just how can you not be excited? This is what we're waiting for. This is what we want. Today, 107 division series against the Braves. We get a home game on Friday night, which is going to be absolutely outrageous. So excited. Let me hear your thoughts.
So, other than having, arguably the best third baseman of his generation and a near lock to win the NL MVP on the other side of the diamond, like you said, the rest of the lineup, meh. Like, yeah, you got 2 future Hall of Famers, but I know Pujols is over 40, and I'd be surprised if Molina's not close to 40 if he's not over it.
Yeah, Molina, I think, is 41 in that 41, 42 range also.
Is he?
He's a shell of himself, what he used to
be. He's not the same.
But he's still a good catcher, but at the plate, he's a shell of himself.
Both of them have gold jackets waiting for them.
Oh,
in 100%. What is it, 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years. So they both have gold jackets waiting for them in 5 years. There's no taking that away. The redemption felt great. It was awesome sending Pujols and Yadier and most likely Wainwright to retirement.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Love it. Close the door on them. Doing it on the road in baseball heaven. Not going to lie. A little nervous there at the end, but it worked out. It wouldn't be Phillies playoff baseball without me getting some more gray hair in my beard and knocking a couple hours of sleep away from me that night.
Yes.
Just wouldn't be Phillies baseball without it. I am fully bought in now. I needed to see this. This is what I needed. I needed them to win the first series. I'm all in now. I'm in. I'm here. Welcome to the party. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So,
however, one thing we need, and you are a much better DJ than I am. That's why, at parties, you always run the playlist. Marcus, you need to advise these guys about their locker room playlist.
It's like a 13-year-old girl.
I mean, you need to do something here. Like,
yeah, the dancing on my own. I mean, it was funny watching it, but a little weird. We need to
do something.
If you guys want to bring me in, I have no problem hooking you guys on the playlist.
And I didn't know Kyle Schwarber can get down like that.
Yeah, Dad.
He can get down like that. You can also tell for a minute he forgot where he was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like for a minute,
I don't think he. Yeah, at certain points knew the camera was right there on him, but
no, you can definitely tell. There's points of the time where he did not realize. Oh, I'm in the locker room and media's here. He thought he was just at home by himself.
At home, just dancing around in his living room. Yeah, it's just, and you bring that up, the celebration, because it is. It's fun because like the majority of these guys, besides Schwarber and Harper, have never done this before. They've never been here. They've never been a part of something like this. Like Segura, who's played forever, Realmuto, who's played for a very long time. Castellan, did Castellanos get to the playoffs? Has he been in the playoffs yet?
I would be very surprised if he didn't. He's been around for a while. Let me check real quick.
When he was with the Reds,
I feel like he made the playoffs.
That Reds team last year, they were flirting with a wild card. I don't know. I don't remember, but I don't want to say he did it. But yeah, you have so many guys that like this is Stott and Bohm and the rest of the daycare. I mean, they're a little spoiled with the fact that like this is their first year, and Bohm's third year, but they're early in the game. They're already experiencing this, but it's awesome. It's awesome to see. It's so much fun when your team is involved in postseason baseball. It makes you put it like I was watching everything. I was a reinvested baseball fan. I saw the Mariners come back from 8 runs down to beat the Blue Jays. I watched the Mets implode on national television. Like I was watching everything. I was in because I love playoff baseball. It's just like one of those things where it's hard to about it when your team's not involved.
So Castellanos played in the playoffs in 14 with Detroit and 20 with Cincinnati. Okay. He did not have good playoff numbers.
That makes sense. Yeah, I forgot about his Detroit years. So yeah, but
he has a 148 batting average in the playoffs.
But the thing about baseball, the other thing about baseball, even guys that have made it, you don't take it for granted because like you literally don't know. Like this, like do I think this is the truth? No, but this could be Bryson Stott's first time in the playoffs and last. Like, that's how it goes. It's so hard. Even with that extra wild card, it's still a hard thing to achieve and it's hard to get in. A little easier now, obviously, but it's still hard to get in. So all of these elements, what makes everything so special. And I'm very excited about today at 107. Obviously, a much tougher challenge today in this series than the Cardinal series. You're talking, in my opinion, the best team in the National League, top to bottom. I think they're
more than the Dodgers.
Yes, I actually like them better than Dodgers. Yeah, I think they're still better than Dodgers. I do. So I look at this lineup, and it's gonna pose a lot of threats. Now we got Ranger Suarez going today. Ranger concerns me a little bit. He reminds me of he's like a Tom Glavine type.
Here's the thing: is in his last start, he was so hungover. It's hard to hold it.
No, I'm not worried about that. That's not where I'm judging it all.
Like anybody that has ever went and been hungover at work the next day knows. Like that's not easy to do.
I'm not worried about my thing with Ranger is a guy that first of all, he needs to have the that allows him to have those corners, number one. Number two, he's got to hit those spots or he's extremely hittable.
Mm-hmm.
And with Nola and Wheeler, I say all the time about Nola. People always want to compare Aaron Nola to Greg Maddux. I say that's ridiculous for the reason that Aaron Nola has a 10 times better fastball than Greg Maddux ever had. Greg Maddux' fastball topped out at 91, 92.
Oh, yeah. Aaron Nola's got a 94 to 96 consistently.
Right. And when Nola's feeling really good, he's 96. But even when he's okay, he's 94, 95. So that makes that off-speed stuff even more deadly because of that really good fastball. And if you watched him on Saturday and his start Saturday and start in Houston and how good he's been September, is because he's been able to place that fastball wherever he wants. Literally, I'm going to throw you this fastball and you can't hit it because I said so. That's his attitude right now. And match that with his incredible curveball and really good changeup, you got yourself something there. So Ranger is different, where Ranger, it's those spots, and in the postseason, this is why the Braves struggled in those 90s teams. Even though Glavine and Maddux were ridiculous on a regular season, postseason, guys bear down more. They're going to take pitches. They're going to work counts. And with a guy like Ranger, it's more likelihood of him making a mistake, and he can afford to make a mistake because he doesn't have the velocity for a mistake. He's throwing 93, 91, between 91 and 93, that fastball, that can't be located anywhere in the middle of the plate or it's going really, really far. So that's what I'm a little concerned about with him.
Yeah, I read an article on Fangraphs the other day about Ranger Suarez. And the thing about him is that he has I shouldn't say no, because every pitcher has a spin on their fastball. But he has comparatively the second lowest spin rate in all of majors for his fastball. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's the second slowest fastball pitcher.
Yeah.
It's just he doesn't get as many rotations on the ball like the other ones do. And therefore, his pitches will stay flatter.
Yeah. And even though
I was going to say that's not good when you're not if you're throwing 97 and your pitches are a little flat, that's one thing. When you're throwing 91 to 93 and your pitches are flat, I mean, for you or I or a regular person, that's still 91 to 93. A professional hitter, Bryce Harper, a Nick Castellanos, that's a field day for them. I know they're on the same team. Let's go to the other side. Acuna,
Austin Riley.
Yeah, that's
Johnson, yeah.
They're going to just tee off on him. Except, like you said, if he's painting the edges.
Right.
If he's out there being Picasso, much different.
We're good. And you saw, listen, again, as you noted earlier, they were extremely hungover and should not have been playing anything the day after the celebration. However, you saw that point, right?
I know that it actually helped them to lose that game, but
yeah, he was in the middle of the zone because he was not painting and the balls were being hit 400 feet. He gave up 7 runs, I think, in 3 innings. So that's what I worry about with him is guys bearing down and having those professional at bats. Because listen, at the end of the day, you're playing the world champions. The Braves won the whole thing last year. They know how to win. They're prepared for this moment. However, a couple things that could be in the Phillies' advantage. Baseball is not really a sport where you want a ton of days off.
No.
And they've been off for 6 days. So,
You're like you said, you don't want to, because your arms are going to start tightening up a little bit. You're going to lose the muscle memory. You're going to lose seeing, when you see 100 miles an hour day after day after day after day, you get used to that. You go a week without seeing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. It's going to take you an at-bat or two to catch back up to that. Where it will help them, though, is, man, are those pitchers ready to cruise?
Yeah.
Like their entire starting staff, minus the guys who are going to be in the bullpen, plus their bullpen guys, like every single pitcher on that roster is up for use this series almost without any restrictions.
1,000%. I know Max Fried. I know he's really good. I'm not saying he's not, but he to me is not intimidating. Like, I don't think the Phillies lineup. That's another advantage they have, is that, like, I personally feel you never want to play a division opponent in the playoffs, because the Phillies are going to approach this very different. If they were playing the Dodgers or if they were playing the Padres, it's going to feel homey in the sense that, okay, well, it's a team we've played 19 times already. Like, we know this team, and they had success against the Braves in the regular season. So those are things that could work in their advantage. And the Philly, and also too, is Friday works in your advantage. The Phillies right out of the gate, game one, faced tremendous adversity. Like, they didn't, game two, they were in control the majority of that game. Game one, they were not. Game one, it came down to the final 3 outs to get the job done. And that gives you a confidence that, you know what? We could overcome anything. And facing that in your first playoff game, where you have the majority of people who've never been in this atmosphere before, at Busch Stadium, where the crowds were really good at Busch Friday and Saturday. They were really, really good crowds. Facing all of that and still coming out and winning both games, you feel invincible. I'm old enough to remember the last time the Phillies were major underdogs against the Braves, and we know how that turned out back in 1993. And that team was, that was, again, probably the best team in baseball. I don't think the Braves are the best team in baseball this year. That was the best team in baseball in 93. You're talking Fred McGriff, David Justice, Otis Nixon, Mark Lemke, and then, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, Steve Avery. They were loaded all over the place with great pitching, great hitting. They were really, really good. And the Phillies were able to pull it out with a really hot pitcher and some timely hitting, which, the nice thing is about what the Phillies did, it's even though we already played a series, their rotation really wasn't affected too much. Because now you got Suarez today, and then you come back with Wheeler on Wednesday and Nola on Friday, which is, what else do you want?
Now, real quick, so going off of Max Fried, great pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
We're not taking anything away from him.
No.
One thing, though, that he is not is he's not necessarily a strikeout pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now the Phillies are a strikeout team, however, though.
Yeah.
But like you said, this is playoff baseball. You bear down. You have stronger at bats.
Yep.
The big thing for today in this game is don't let Max Fried start getting up ahead in the counts 0-1, 0-2, because he's not a strikeout pitcher.
Yeah.
So he's going to be cute around the edges. If you can get ahead in the counts and make him pound the strike zone, you should be able to win this game.
Yeah, this has steel to me. This has steel written all over it, based off of the layoff, and based off the Phillies still coming in. The Phillies are already in playoff mode.
Yes.
They're already there, and the Atlanta had to shut it down. They were for a while because they caught the Mets, and they had that huge series in Atlanta last weekend, and then where they swept the Mets. So they were already in that playoff mode, and you shut it down to get back up. So that's gonna be a difficult thing at times to get ramped back up. So we'll see, but like you said, Max Fried is not a guy. He's not an intimidating guy. Really good pitcher, not intimidating. A guy you can hit. The Phillies have hit him this year.
I mean, he's only 14-7 this year in 30 starts. So it's not like he's sitting there as an all-world. You're not facing Justin Verlander.
Right.
You're not facing. I mean, I know he was hurt, and I think he's still hurt, but you're not facing Walker Buehler for the Dodgers.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is Max Fried. Yes, he's a good pitcher. If you don't go up there with your head on straight and prepared and work against him, he will beat you. But he's not unbeatable.
And also, too, this is not an intimidating place to go play.
Did you hear about the tickets?
Yeah, they're having trouble selling.
I saw this morning you can still get tickets for $14.
Well, in all fairness, it's a weird time to play a second round series.
107
on a Tuesday. Like,
however,
I don't know what Manfred's thinking with that one.
No, but let me ask you this: 107 on a Tuesday at Citizens Bank.
It's full. It's full, no question. It's full. People are all sorts of excuses. Yeah, no, I agree.
You got a 107 game today. I think it's a 4:00 game tomorrow.
4:35.
4:35 tomorrow. I don't believe they've announced the game for Friday yet. I'm sure that's going to be
a night game. It'll be a night game. They want the Red October towels flowing throwing right through the night on Friday evening.
Now, the only thing is that, like, are the people of Philadelphia, are we collectively not working this week?
It's just a Red October week.
Like, well, it's Red October combined with Dallas week at home.
Well, right. I know a lot of people today at 1:00. Conveniently, their Wi-Fi is going to stop working if they're working at home to make sure they're downstairs to watch the game.
There's a reason we're doing this show early.
Yeah. This is why we're here.
Why we're here now.
Adjustments had to be made. Yeah. So the crowd is not going to be a factor. Like what you saw at Busch Stadium this weekend, you're not going to see that in Atlanta. They're not a great sports city, and it's not an intimidating place to play. So that could work in the Phillies' favor also. Because Citizens Bank Park,
I don't think that the Phillies fans will take that stadium over, though.
No. That's not.
I think it's going to be a relatively.
It's going to be a brave stadium. But it's not going to be like it was at Busch. Yeah. Sold out, loud.
Baseball heaven.
Yes. So but Citizens Bank Park will be that. Like Friday night, people, regardless of what happens, if it's 1-1, 2-0, they're going to be frothing at the mouth Friday night. Frothing. They'll be froth.
I know I usually throw other teams' stadiums and cities under the bus and whatnot. I actually don't hate St. Louis.
You can't.
No. I can do without the humidity, though. And every time I'm there, I've been to St. Louis probably about a dozen times. 11 of those times it's rained.
Wow.
Ratio. I've been to St. Louis once when the sun came out. I didn't know the sun came out there. I was shocked.
Now,
but Busch Stadium's a nice stadium, too.
It is. Now, the Phillies got away with some things. For one thing they got away with, 2 for 12 run and scoring position.
Not
obviously, you can't do that in this series.
Does the offense concern you?
No, because it's playoff baseball. So scoring is at a premium. You're going to face really, really good pitching. So no. However, you're going to need guys this series to step up that haven't thus far. I know it's only been 2 games, but we need Reese. We need Castellanos. We need those guys big time in the series.
What concerns you more? What concerns you more, the Phillies offense or the Eagles second halves?
The Eagles second halves.
Or I guess I should say option 3 are either really that big of a worry for you?
The Eagles second half is more of a concern. We'll learn a lot more, I guess, Sunday. But the Eagles second half is definitely more of a concern to me than the Phillies offense. I think, because now that if we were in the regular season, I would say the Phillies offense. But this is playoff baseball. It's a different animal. You're not going to get those 9 to 7 games in the playoffs. Right. Not very often. That doesn't happen very often. So you're usually going to get more of the 3-2s, 2-1s. Like that's what you're going to get. Now, today may be a little more high scoring because, again, I think Rangers are going to give up a couple. So here's my question.
You also got better. You got two better. I mean, obviously the Phillies offense in last game is still the Phillies offense in this game, but the Braves offense is much better than the Cardinals offense. So I expect this entire series just to be higher scoring.
Yes. So, I had a question by now. I forgot what that question was going to be. So I don't know what I was going to say there.
All right. Well, while you try to remember the question, I'm going to bring up the turnaround for Bohm this season.
Yeah.
Went from saying he didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
To being a defensive superstar.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by Arenado hitting the ball hard. He smoked that ball down the line, and Bohm said, "Snatchies, I'll take that."
Bohm is also shooting up the charts for the Philly that I want to party with the most.
Yeah. I mean,
like they fill it up after, I should say.
Between him, Stubbs, mate, all the daycare I want to party with. I want to hang out with daycare. Veerling, Stubbs. Like I want to hang out with the daycare. The daycare looks like a good time.
It does. We learned Bryce is not a robot.
Right. Yep.
Which I mean, could have fooled me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just ready. I'm ready for 107. It's now 9:36, so we have about
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours.
Yeah.
3.5 hours till
we're off till first pitch.
How do you feel about them changing the color of the rally towels?
See, I've been advocating for this for a very long time, and I hope we get it this weekend. I want red rally towels for the Phillies.
Oh no, you heard why they're not using white anymore, right?
Because it's hard to say, hard to mix up.
The MLB league wide has outlawed white towels.
But I think the red is going to look so cool.
I do too.
Do the red.
I have old white ones. I wanted a new white one.
Yeah, no, I hear you. The red ones though are just so.
Red ones are gonna be nice.
That's gonna be so cool. I'm like, that's the best part about this week is we get a home playoff game at the bank, and like
potentially two.
Cool. What's that?
Potentially two of them.
Potentially two. It's gonna be so cool watching all of these because all of these guys, even if they've been to playoffs, they've never seen this type of excitement in Philly before for baseball. So like when they come out looking around, they're gonna be just like,
what is that?
Wow, what is happening?
I'm going to be very disappointed in the Philadelphia Phillies fan base if that's not sold out.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be sold out.
I mean, I hope it is.
Yeah,
I'm saying I
don't think for a second it's not gonna be sold out.
If it's not, it's a violation.
I agree, and I don't think. I mean, people have been
speaking of violations, I have a violation. I need you to rule on.
Oh,
yes.
People are waiting. So I think people are going to be really, really excited about seeing this team back in the postseason again, and really, I mean, I expect them to compete this week. If you're going to ask me who I think is going to win a series, I'll say Braves. But I expect the Phillies to compete this week.
The Braves are number 2 seed. How would you not?
Right.
It's 2 versus 6. You have to favor them.
Right. I expect them to compete this week, and
check the line.
It's money.
Yeah.
It's money time.
Yeah. I'll check the line right now.
I'm sure they're a plus 1.5 on the run line with free. It'll be interesting to see what they are tomorrow with Wheeler, if they'll be favored in that game at all. But yeah, you got to
have plus 172 for them on the money line right now.
Mm-hmm. For the series or for the game?
For the game. I'm looking for the series right now. Phillies series. They not have the series bets up? Yeah, no, they don't have the series bets up. They only have individual game.
Okay. Well, I would imagine they're an underdog in the series. I mean, rightfully so. Like I said, I think the Braves.
Oh, here it is. I found it. Yeah, but the interesting thing is they're more of an underdog today than the whole series, which I would thought be surprising because this would be the steal game.
It's what I think is what nationally and what Vegas thinks of Ranger Suarez.
Gotcha.
And just because it's not fair to him, no one really. I bet you nationally in Vegas, nobody really knows who Ranger Suarez is. So like they don't know his potential, how good he can be. Because this is
so they're plus
national stage a lot.
They're plus 172 for today. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They're less of an underdog. Did I word that right?
Yeah.
Yes, less of an underdog for the whole series. You want to take a guess at what it is for the series?
Plus 100.
No, 158.
Okay. All right. That's fair. I mean, it's understandable. But listen, things are going really, really well in this city when we just did 36 minutes on baseball and haven't talked about the fact we have a 5-0 football team.
Yeah. One other thing on the baseball team, though, before we move on. 3 straight years, Zach Wheeler, a sub-3 ERA.
What a steal he was. Getting him off.
And especially for the contract that you got him for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just like we rightfully kill Matt Klentak.
Mm-hmm.
He deserves all the credit for that one.
Yeah, it's talking about Harvey, Syndergaard, and DeGrom. We just plucked Wheeler right out of there. And, he's been a godsend. But, yeah, 107 a day, Phillies baseball. But, yeah, we have a 5-0 football.
Hold up. Prediction. What do you got for today?
I like him today.
I like him too.
I like him today.
Baseball's too hard to predict a score.
Yeah, I'm not going to do a score. But I like him today. I think you can catch the Braves sleeping in the first couple innings.
Do you think Ranger gets the W, or is this a bullpen W game?
That's what I was going to ask you. So my thing here's the nice thing about Ranger is the situation with the Phillies staff is you got 2 guys in Bailey Falter and Syndergaard that could give you longer innings.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your leash on Ranger? Like if you see him struggling, how fast is he out?
I need a minimum of 4 innings today. Minimum. Ideally 6. 6 to 7. Perfect scenario, 6 to 7. Minimum of 4. Now, I don't want to use the phrase I don't care what happens in the first 3 because if you're getting shelled, you're getting shelled.
Yeah.
But I almost don't care what happens in the first 3. I need you to get to the 4th inning and go through the 4th inning. Now, like I said, you're getting shelled. I need to revisit that, and we need to get somebody up. But
I'm gonna have a quick leash on him. If I see him in the middle, of the strike zone for any reason whatsoever, you're out. Bailey, fastball Falter.
The thing is, can you use him though? Because he's gonna go to this for the sake of my question. Go to the scenario that this goes to Game 4.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you using Game 4?
I mean, it's going to have to be either, I guess, Syndergaard or Falter.
Then who do you use today?
Whichever one you don't use starts Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't know. Bailey Falter might have a do not play today for me. He might have a do not play tomorrow for me.
Because then if it's a Game 5 necessary, you can go back to Wheeler on 4 days rest.
Yes.
So you have to figure out what Game 4 is going to be. But these are good problems to have.
Listen, hey, I'd rather have the problem of I don't know who to play than I'm not playing.
Exactly. So again, 107 Phil's Braves, looking forward to it. But yeah, we got a 5-0 football team we need to talk about. Mm-hmm. And people sometimes, I'm not just talking about Eagles fans, I'm talking about just fans in general annoy me because it's you watch the game and you get used to a certain way, a team just obliterating another team, and you forget that on the other sideline they have NFL players too, and not every game is going to be pretty and cute and pretty. Sometimes you just need to figure out a way to get the win. And that's what they did yesterday. Started off, it was a couple points. I'm sorry, Sunday, not yesterday. There's a couple points in that game where it looked like the Eagles were going to blow the doors off of them.
Yes.
They go up 7-0 right away, and you're like, oh, this get ugly. They score again 14-0. They get the interception. You're like, oh man, they end up not scoring on the interception, and Arizona makes some adjustments. Yes, the Eagles struggled against the blitz. Yes, they did. It's a fact. They also were missing some pieces from the offensive line. Guys were shuffling in and shuffling out. that contributed to it a little bit. But speaking of that blitz, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit to the last drive because Jalen Hurts makes his best throw of the day in the face of that blitz, and that sets up that easy chip shot field goal from Dicker the kicker, which is an insane name, almost as insane as Ho You Fat, but
no, he's not better than General Booty though.
Yeah, Ho You Fat I think is my favorite.
The Oklahoma quarterback General Booty.
General Booty is nice, but Ho You Fat is different.
What about the Coldest Frost?
I like that. Yeah.
He's I forgot Vanderbilt corner, I think he is.
Okay.
He became prominent because he was a high school phenom.
Yeah.
And I named the Coldest Frost. Like that's gonna stick out. He got an NIL deal from an air conditioner company.
I should.
Yeah. If your name's Dakota's Frost and an air conditioner, an ice cream, like something that's not offering it to you, but I don't know. I'm sorry, but
no, I got you.
General Booty is how are you going to like?
Wow.
First off, Marcus, you have a newborn on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever, if your last name was Booty, would you ever consider naming them General?
No, absolutely not.
That's almost as uncomfortable as that Giants video.
You might as well name them Community.
What about Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Community
Booty. I just saw what you did there. Kind of like another community booty is the one that was out at the Giants game.
What's that? What?
The player, the Giants.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, that video needed to stay off my timeline. I saw that once, and that was too many times.
Listen, if you have Twitter, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable.
Why was Cheeks in the Wind like that, Marcus?
I don't know. Cheeks in the Wind. The guy was working too hard on the other side. It was a lot to unpack.
I understand. He was probably massaging out a quad muscle or something. But the angle of it, and really, like I said, you don't need your cheeks out. Like that was the unnecessary part.
Bring up the blue tent for that. We don't.
Where was the blue tent?
Did the blue tent? Who was in there at that
not
time?
Have its passport ready? I didn't see the blue tent.
Yeah.
Overseas.
Yeah, I don't know, but we needed the blue tent for that action. But anyway, Hurts makes his best throw of the day in the face of that blitz. If you're gonna ask me one thing that I'm annoyed about, it's of course Jonathan Gannon and that last drive for the Cardinals to get down field goal range. Someone made a great point, so I don't like to steal from people, but I'm gonna say it again because I thought it was an excellent point. That what is like Jonathan Gannon is so afraid of giving it the big play, but does it really matter if you have a 17-play drive to get down the field or a 4-play drive?
It doesn't, in my opinion.
It doesn't matter. So stop worrying about giving up the big play and just be a little bit more aggressive in those situations.
I understand the math behind, if they run 17 plays, you have more of a chance to create a turnover. I understand that the thought and the strategy behind it. But if they go 17 plays and you don't force a turnover, then you just sat on the field for 17 plays.
Right. And if Kyler Murray's on a dunderhead, they're going to have 22 seconds and, a couple of plays to get the ball to the end zone. What should have happened is just Kyler Murray.
I don't blame that on Kyler.
Had a brain fart.
I don't blame that on him. I blame it on the coach.
Why is that?
Well, let me rephrase that. More blame goes to the coach than the player. Because in the post-game press, both Kyler and Kingsbury, when he went down, he gets up and looks to the coach on the sideline. The second the play ends, the quarterback gets communication again in his helmet. Kingsbury yells to him, clock it, clock it, clock it, clock it. So the coach is telling you to clock it. You don't know what's going on. What are you going to do?
That's not my problem with the play. It's get the first down.
Well, yes, but the thing is that
problem, he should have
here's what because I was talking to
blocking it, because here's the deal. If he just goes 3 inches and gets the first down, then it's 1st and 10, you clock it, you still have 2 downs, 22 seconds through the end zone.
Agreed.
That's my problem with this.
Let me give you this though. So number one, he started his slide feet first instead of head first.
Yeah.
So that goes where you started.
Right.
So he ended up 5 yards on that slide past the first down mark. He probably didn't even realize when he started sliding. Now, like you said, be more aware. But when you have a coach in your ear telling you we got a first down, clock it, what do you assume? You assume you got it.
Right.
Here's what. So I was actually talking to Evan.
Uh-huh.
They were all out at the game.
Yeah.
Another scoreboard idiot for the home team. On that play, the scoreboard operator put first down on the scoreboard. That's why they all ran up there, disregarding the fact that the refs still had fourth down on the marker.
Wow.
The Jumbotron guy put first down up. Kingsbury looks up there and tells him to clock it, then looks up and sees fourth down. Now, you're the head coach. You should know what's happening.
Yeah.
However, for the last 24 to 36 hours, the amount of former athletes and coaches that say, oh, yeah, we use the scoreboard, we use the Jumbotron to help keep us in line, somebody's got to get fired.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to get fired.
Well,
but after saying all of those caveats, they're still 5-0.
Yeah, and you're like to remain undefeated, you're going to have games like this where you just got to figure out a way to get out of that building with a victory. There are things that need to be cleaned up. They've got to figure out how to attack the blitz better. I think the play calling I think Jalen's got to be better at changing the play when he sees it and recognizing the blitz is coming.
I'm not going to say regression in this game, but this is probably the worst game he played all year.
I would agree.
Despite the fact he scored 2 rushing touchdowns,
yeah,
still probably the worst game he personally played. But I don't want to use the term regression because I just think he just had a bad game.
Me too.
However, the interception that turned out to be overturned, awful pass.
That was a really bad throw.
That was
really bad field awareness.
That was 2021 Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Like, that was an awful throw. Now, granted, the guy ended up dropping the ball, so it didn't end up hurting you. Awful throw.
I agree. But, I mean, listen, how can you kill a 5-0 football team?
That's it.
I mean, I've
heard when you're 5-0, all you're doing is critiquing and making improvements. You can't kill them.
Right. And it sets up nicely for, it's Cowboys week. You got Dallas coming in here. They're 4-1. I mean, a surprising I don't know about surprising now after, as well as that defense is playing, but I don't think people expected when Dak went out for they'd be 4-1, but they are. And the defense is really, really good. It's going to cause a lot of issues for the Eagles. You're hoping you're getting Jordan Mailata back this week. You're hoping Kelsey's good. And he went back in the game after the ankle, so you hope the ankle doesn't swell up too bad and he can go for you. Because you're going to need all hands on deck. But, like I said, like this game is just one of those things where sometimes you just got to escape. And that's what the Eagles did on Sunday is they escaped. And, the Cardinals have NFL football players too. And like sometimes things are going to be a little more difficult, because like now, like there's another thing too, another aspect of this is the Eagles now they're going to get everyone's best game from here on out. Because now everyone's recognizing them as the best team in the NFL. And when you get that, you have that undefeated marker on you, you're getting everyone's best game. Everyone's going to come into play against you. Everyone. Doesn't matter what the opponent is, you're going to be everyone's Super Bowl from here on out, including next week. So, there are things that need to be cleaned up. However, they're 5-0. And that's really, at this point, all that matters.
We got Sunday at 8:20. We have the NFC East leadership on display in that game. The winner of that, a lot can happen between week 6 and week 18.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd have to assume that the winner of that game has a massive lead for winning the division.
Yeah,
I understand the Giants are 4-1. I don't have an answer for how they're 4-1, but I'm not worried about them.
No, listen, they're being. I mean, Brian Dable's a really good coach, and he's doing a great job of getting those guys ready to play and having them compete. I'm confused as myself. I mean, one aspect, obviously, you have Saquon Barkley, who is back to 2016, 2017 Saquon Barkley. So that helps. Daniel Jones is not turning the ball over the way he did in years past. That helps.
They don't have any receivers, though.
No, not at all. The defense, they're playing an aggressive style of attacking football. That helps. But no, I'm not worried about them at all.
You know what the good thing about them being 4-1 already is?
What's that?
They've probably won too many games to draft one of the top quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And they've already all but said Daniel Jones is a free agent after this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So
it's Arch Man is going to end up there.
On Friday, it's going to be a lot to unpack on Friday. We're going to have a football Friday. We're going to have a baseball Friday. We haven't had these problems in a really long time. So,
no, I mean,
we've been able to be selfish for a while to just talk Eagles, but now we're going to have to share the love
and starting 1 week from today, we're going to have basketball.
Yeah, next week. Yeah. So next Tuesday's show, we could potentially be talking about the Phillies and the NLCS, a 6-0 football team, and Sixers Celtics. I might levitate.
And we will not discuss the Flyers.
No, there's nothing to talk about there. They're not invited to the party.
The extent of the hockey talk this year on this show will be hockey or all, and that's it.
Yeah. They're not worth discussing.
If you had to come up with a list of the top 10 athletes in Philadelphia currently, is a Flyer on the list?
No.
15 Flyer on the list?
No.
20 Flyer on the list?
Maybe.
25?
Well, 20, yeah. I mean,
well, I'm saying, at what point in time?
Flyer, like a second Flyer?
No. At what point in time?
20, probably you get it. Couturier.
All right. Not Carter Hart?
No. He's way too inconsistent. He should be, but he's been booty juice all last
I don't know any other Flyers, so I don't need.
No, there's no one else for consideration. So that's
about 20 to 25.
No,
we're not saying in the league. We're saying in their own city.
No. No.
Well, and that has been your Flyers talk today.
Right. So. Yeah. So it sets up nicely for Sunday night. Sunday Night Football.
I wonder if Dak's going to play.
It's early. Say again.
I wonder if Dak is going to play.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't bring him back now.
No.
Like I wouldn't. I mean, I don't.
See, the thing is that if he plays, well, I shouldn't say if, he will come back this year, obviously. We all know that. But, man, that hand is going to get lit up. Fletcher Cox swiping at it. Brandon Graham swiping at that finger. Hassan Reddick swiping at that finger.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure this is the defense you bring Dak back against.
No, I mean, I would wait. And listen, they're playing well against Cooper Rush. I mean, no, obviously, I think this is the Eagles' big. I mean, I think the Eagles are the biggest test with Cooper Rush at the quarterback spot. You assume that even though Dallas has a really good defense, you assume the Eagles are going to put some points up. So you're going to require Cooper Rush to do that, do the same. So I mean, I guess you have to think about, is he capable of put up over a 20 spot? Somebody
on Twitter said that Kyler Murray runs around like he stole his parents' cell phone.
Yeah,
like I can't unsee that.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Like Tyler stole his parents' iPhone, but it's true because everything's going, everything's shaking and going. He looks like he's literally running away from monsters when you used to do that when you're like 5 years old.
Did you hear what Slay said in the locker room afterwards?
No.
The little man likes to run.
Yeah. He was just in the fourth quarter. He was dropping back and saying "see ya." It was designed quarterback.
I mean, he is. I mean, we kill him as a quarterback because he's not that good. He's an athlete. Make no mistake.
Oh yeah.
Like it. Yeah. He would have been a successful pro baseball player.
Oh yeah. Yeah. When he runs, it's just different. Like you have no shot of catching him. You're just sad.
So we're going to obviously preview the Cowboys game on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to save a lot of my hatred spewing till Friday.
Yeah.
But we always pay attention to hilarious celebrity Twitter beefs. And we have a former Eagle, former Washington Twitter beef currently happening. Are you up to date on this?
No.
Shady McCoy against RG3.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Give me the breakdowns of this.
So remember that? Did you watch the Snore Bowl on Thursday?
Absolutely not. I followed.
So,
I didn't want to do that.
So there's a picture, a meme of Russ sitting on the bench, squirting a bottle of water in him, and I like in his mouth, and I think it's Melvin Gordon that's standing there like looking at him.
I've seen that picture.
So he RG3 posted that picture and said, "Caption this." Well, LaShawn McCoy is, first off, he's not someone who will ever mince words.
No.
Secondly, he has a lot of accomplishments to his name. So
yeah, of course,
we're talking borderline Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
you got to be prepared if you're going to come with him. So LaShawn McCoy quote tweets and says, "Damn, take it easy on him. You experienced a moment like this a whole lot more than Russ has ever did." So RG3 comments, "Dang, are you still mad at me for out rushing you in a game? Or is it that I had more rushing touchdowns than you had rushing and receiving that year? Or for knocking you out of playoff contention in 2014? You had a great career. However, without injuries, I would have had a better one." Okay. I mean, he had a great rookie year. I'm not saying he didn't.
You could blame Shanahan for that.
So here is where LaShawn McCoy decides to just ether him. A screenshot of his 2020 season stats. 42 yards, 2 interceptions, and a 20.2 QBR.
Did he hit him with this view?
Yes. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, but these are your numbers. Hey, let RG3 cook. And then he just continues piling on with box score like screenshots.
Yeah, have you seen the Let Russ Cook ones with the fires in the background?
I saw somebody. It was like Let Russ Cook, and
Let's ride.
It had Let Russ Cook. It had a steak with like American cheese melted on it. But then RG3 just kind of stops responding because like, what else are you gonna say to that? However, then he just still keeps going.
This is a lot to unpack. This is NFC East beef. This is FS1 versus ESPN.
So then Will Blackman, a former corner, I think he played. Maybe might have played safety. Anyway, he goes, the difference between RG3, the difference is RG3 and I are real friends, former locker room mates, and I've had 7 years of knowing him personally off the field. Anything I ever say to him is never offensive. Sometimes it's cold. However, Shady and him are not. Which RG3 says, "Man, Shady's been hating on me for years, bro. He's going to take what's going on with Russ and try to hit me with a stray bullet. I will clap back. I always clap back. What he's saying is inaccurate and not funny." Listen, you're mad. You're mad. You're mad. Just Marcus, he's mad.
Oh yeah, the 2020 thing was disrespectful.
Was he wrong?
No.
You know what Shady did in 2020? He won a ring.
Yeah.
So the woulda, coulda, shoulda thing is funny because, I mean, listen, if I was 6'3", I'd play in the NFL. Like, woulda, coulda, like, oh, if I didn't get hurt, I would have had a better career. Marcus, we already talked about, if you were born 30 years prior to when you were, you'd be in the NBA.
I would have been 10-time All-Star.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this woulda, coulda, shoulda thing.
Yeah.
RG3, hold your L.
Yep.
Hold your L.
Hold it.
Shady,
all right, man. We're gonna get ready to wrap.
Yeah, we got baseball in 3 hours and 3 minutes.
We got things to do and place to be.
So we rankings Friday, right?
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I usually do it today, but I'll have it on. I wasn't prepared. I'll have it on.
Oh, when I called you on Friday or Saturday, or I think it was Saturday or Sunday, I forget. I called you and said, "Listen, we're doing a Monday morning show Tuesday." And you're like, "What do you mean we're doing a morning show? Aren't we doing it at 1?" I said, "No, we got Phillies at 107."
Yeah, you broke the news. The Phillies are 107.
I talked to you yesterday. I said, "Hey, Marcus, let's be honest. We're going to talk about Phillies with a little bit of football sprinkled in."
Yeah,
that's exactly what we did.
That's what we did. We gave you your 5-0 talk, but listen. We got the NLDS today, and we're excited. So
Now,
hopefully, everyone who wants to watch the game can watch the game.
This isn't on anything special, right? This is just
Fox.
like this ain't Apple TV or anything like that, right? Good.
Fox at 107.
Oh, we're gonna have. Oh no, I forgot they switched networks. I was gonna wait. We have Buck.
Yeah,
No, we don't.
No, I don't think Buck's doing baseball anymore.
Well, ESPN should never be allowed to be in charge of postseason baseball ever again. That was the worst round of announcers collectively across an entire.
Michael K is terrible.
A-Rod is verbal diarrhea.
Yeah, he's not good.
He is verbal diarrhea. Also, listeners, just remember, if for some reason the Phillies do have a day game on Friday, can't imagine they will. Like Marcus had said, going to want the bank packed for a Friday night. However, if they do, we're just going to do another morning show.
Yeah, but I'm sure you're getting a 7:38, 8:05.
What I'm not going to look forward to is a Game 5 and have the Phillies Eagles at the same time.
Yeah, I've always been thinking about that. Like, again, these are things we're not used to anymore. We had these things late 2000s. We're not used to this anymore.
So the only real scenario where I see that being an issue for Sunday is if they're the only baseball game left.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice if we get like a 4:30 Phil's Game 5.
I would be. Well, they're going to be in Atlanta. I don't know the Falcons' schedule.
Yeah.
I would have to assume that.
I don't see them basing anything around the Falcons, though.
No. Let's see. They 1 o'clock home game against the Niners this Sunday.
Yeah, so you go 4:35 Braves.
Also, I'm not familiar with the layout of the Atlanta sports stadiums, so I don't know if they're close or not.
Right.
But there's nothing better than if you had I know the game's in Atlanta, but could you imagine how packed that stadium would be if it was a 4:05 Philly start with an 8:20 Dallas Cowboys game?
Yep, right across the street.
I forget. What's the term that people use for going to both of those? There's a term that people use for going from the link to the bank or vice versa. I just can't remember what it's called.
Not sure. Not familiar with the terminology, but I'm familiar with Phillies playoff baseball 107 today. Hope you guys enjoy it. We will be recapping games 1 and games 2 and previewing games 3 on Friday. Also, a lot more Eagles-Cowboys talk on Friday, getting ready for Friday night.
Do they usually have an off day like that between games?
Yeah.
They do?
When they're switching
cities?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised you're not getting another one in between games 4 and game 5 because you have to go back to Atlanta.
I thought you were.
No, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you're going back to Atlanta on the charter right after game 4.
Well, this is NLDS, right?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, you're going Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh yeah! Wow.
Yeah,
that is a little odd.
I don't really get that, but this is they might change. This is the first year they've done the extra round, so I think they're just working out the kinks. So you may have that change.
I mean, I have to make the assumption that Monday's an off day, then, right?
Yeah, because that'll be because then the NLCS will probably start Wednesday of next week.
So you'll have if the game So if the games end up going 5, you should have Monday and Tuesday.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think Wednesday will be the day they'll start the NLCS, but hopefully that'll be the Phillies. We'll see. But I'm Marques tweeting everywhere.
Go at Justin Emery Show on the Bluebird app.
Brad and Emery Pod everywhere. BradMeShow.com for the merch. Vans Jewelers. Go see them at 332 York Road.
Bling bling.
And go Phils. And until next time, you be with us. You be against us. But you're never gonna stop us. And we're 5-0.